What is going on, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. I'm not gonna lie to y'all, I've been sitting here in the garage for like an hour and a half debating if this is what I want to do. Now, if you guys haven't seen, in the last couple of videos we talked about what we're going to be doing with all the cars here in the driveway after Race Wars. Race Wars passed a couple of weeks ago. I did some work here in between the homie CRV, my brother's wagon, and my nephew's CRV as well too. Those cars are now all out of the way, and my two cars has been shuffled here onto the driveway. The silver car is on the main spot of the driveway. The blue car is in a long-term parking spot. I know I've been talking a lot lately in the last few videos. If you guys saw the transmission video, that was like an hour long, but that was also a learning video as well too. I like to talk to clarify things with you guys, because at the end of the day, I'm a real person and I try to be as transparent as possible and kind of get you guys a little caught up of what all has been going on and off camera. So I finally went through the video where I talked about quitting YouTube, and I went through all 170 plus comments, and thank you guys for the mad support. Like, all you guys who left positive comments to keep my head up, and comments that, you know, tells me you guys have been here for a very long time. OGs, I appreciate y'all the most. But I've gotten a lot of comments talking about like people's suggestion on growth for the channel, right? Again, I'm not like all these other big YouTubers or YouTubers that are making it, or who have a lot of money, who brings in exotics and they're able to do crazy stuff, billet motors, built trans, all of that stuff. That's like, that's not me, right? When I make money, whether it's jobs on the driveway, whether it's YouTube, whether it's selling parts, I use that money more towards priority stuff in life, right? And the stuff you guys see I do here with the cars on the channel, it's either budgeting, junkyard, buying bottom dollar stuff. Like, I'm completely okay with running any of those stuff. But just to clarify a lot of things with you guys, a lot of my personal cars have high quality stuff. A lot of my play around cars, my F around cars, I use whatever I can get my hands on. It's not a car that is going to stay in the fleet for a while. So a lot of people were suggesting that I get rid of a lot of my cars. Look, whether I do YouTube or not, these cars I've built are my personal fleet cars, personal cars that are the F around cars, or the cars that are going to go. This car was supposed to somewhat already been gone, but motor popped last year, and this is our predicament. The all-wheel drive EF sedan, that was one of my dream cars to do as an all-wheel drive like street monster. My wagon is my pride and joy. My childhood dream car is this car. I finally bought it, finally built it. So like, a lot of these cars, it's not cars I just build and flip. No, these are a personal car. If I was not doing YouTube, I would have still built these exact same cars. So selling any of my cars is definitely off the limits, aside from, you know, the H2B CRX in the storage unit. This car is going to go eventually. My KRX is my other pride and joy. I'm not gonna sell any of my cars just to grow the channel. I'd rather do more work elsewhere to grow the channel, rather sacrifice a personal car I've been dreaming of building since I was a kid. But I do appreciate a lot of you guys' suggestions and stuff, and things I definitely, you know, put on the list for a later, you know, alternative to growth for the channel. But my current EFs are definitely not cars to be sold, aside from what was mentioned. So there's a few other, you know, suggestions and stuff, but I just want to touch bases on that, because I wouldn't do it. I would take these cars to the grave with me, or I'll chop it up before I get rid of it. So back to the cars here in the driveway, the silver sedan. I wanted to get it up and going again because I'm tired of seeing it not running. And the best way for me to do this is to tear apart my blue car. The transmission that belonged to this car, which is why the engine is not assembled, is actually in this car, because I blew this transmission apart a couple of months ago. And while I'm going to take the transmission back out of this car to put onto that engine, I am going to be taking the twin disc as well too. I got locked on to another twin disc I'm going to be picking up from my buddy here soon. It's brand new, and I'd rather have a brand new clutch in a fresh build when the blue car goes back together. So twin disc transmission is coming out of here to go into that, to get that back into this car. The long block, the turbo kit, everything that is currently in this car, I'm taking all of this, mating it up with the EP3 transmission with the max speeding rod LSD. All of that is going into my KRX. You're probably wondering, I always say KRX is the most reliable car that I have, aside from the fuel pump situation the other day. Why would I take it apart? I'm taking it apart because my red all-wheel drive CRX, I sold it for a couple of reasons. The biggest reason is it got reffed. If you guys know, in California, that car got reffed. I sold it, and I took everything out of that car to switch over to the K platform. Instead of swapping the red car to all-wheel drive K, I was going to take the all-wheel drive turbo setup and put it into the KRX. And then the blue car came along, everything went to that car instead. So now I'm backtracking, and I'm going to build the KRX how I wanted to do it a couple of years ago. Again, at the end of all of this, this is not something I'm doing for you guys. This is something I'm doing for myself. Okay, so yeah, it's gonna be a lot of EF content here coming, and here coming or coming soon. But the whole setup in this car with the APT transmission is going to go into the KRX. 1, I'll be back in my front wheel drive days. 2, I could use my Bogarts and Skinnies. 3, I have a front wheel drive cars for the shootouts when they happen, because they don't allow us all wheel drive guys. So a lot of benefit in a sense, and it'll still be somewhat reliable that I can still drive it down to, you know, SoCal and stuff for car meets and such, like I've already been doing in this car. So whew, enough with the yapping, guys. The goal today is to take the entire swap, turbo kit, trans, the whole 9 out of my blue sedan, and maybe, possibly, depending on how I feel, I might just throw the clutch and the transmission onto the K20A2 here and at least plant that into the silver sedan. We'll see how the day rolls. Let's get to work. This turbo blanket is so shot. I guess the exhaust leak that I had on the downpipe kind of tore it up a little bit. I'm gonna have to buy a new one. So I got my tools all put away, the parts that came out of the blue sedan sort of organized, and I was actually dreading this for a little while because while working on the CRV, I couldn't wait to get all the stuff out of the garage, the B20 and all that belonged with that car, and make space. And then I took apart the blue car, and all the space that I made are crammed again. So anyways, the goal was to like put everything that belongs to the silver car in the red rack back into the car and get rid of the red rack. But then I'm like, wait, now I'm gonna have all the other stuff that came out of here. So I kind of just stacked it on the GSR motor, whatever. Obviously I got the car back on the ground. I put the full suspension back on, the traction bar, I put the wheels back on, and tomorrow off camera what I'm going to do is I'm going to pressure wash the engine bay. It's kind of hard to see because the car is kind of parked up and the light is blocked by the hood, but I'm going to pressure wash the engine bay, clean it up, clean the car as well too. I'm probably going to lay down a tarp underneath the car just so that we don't get a bunch of spider webs and spiders living underneath the chassis, and I'm going to put a car cover over it. So before we wrap it up for tonight, the engine itself, I'm just going to disconnect the transmission and the clutch from the long block so we can have that ready to go for the A2. I'm also going to clean the transmission and everything, make it all nice and pretty like the long block and the K20Z1. I'm going to leave all the manifold and stuff on it for right now. We'll tackle this when we dive into the KRX. So right now I'm going to go ahead and just remove the transmission. This is what happens when you struggle to put the transmission in the car by yourself, and sometimes when it's like stuck, you kind of drive it in with the 17mm bolts. You don't want to do that because what it does is it squishes the pilot bushing, and this one is pretty, I don't know if you can see it, but it's all crooked, right? And no matter how many times I've used the alignment tool and stuff, it always interferes with this. And the best way to align your clutch is to use like an actual input shaft like this right here. I do have one now because I blew up the transmission originally for that car, so hopefully we can align it going into the KRX and also the silver car. I do have an extra one, I think. Actually, I don't even know. I should. Yeah, I have an extra one right here just in case. And this one, trash. I'm putting it there because I know my ass is probably going to use it later, but trash. So I know a lot of people hate on action clutch, and this twin disc, I've been running it since 2020 in the wagon. Numerous trips down to SoCal, and then I swapped it over to the blue car, and again a couple of trips down to SoCal in the last 2 years, and this thing's got quite a bit of 1,000 miles on it. Not entirely sure how much, but definitely over 5,000, and obviously 2 seasons of racing, and also, I mean, racing in the wagon as well, and also daily driving. So this clutch seems to be in really good condition. No crazy hot spots, no warpage, no crazy discoloration whatsoever. And then right here, not too concerning. The disc still super meaty, not missing any material whatsoever. splines are in there. A lot of people hate them because they for some reason have a tendency to strip splines, even though I've seen it on many other brands before. But if you look, really good, really good. And then the last one right here, looking really good. So clutch definitely reusable 100%. And I did mark all the plates to make sure we put it back in the same way, because people say that twin disc and such, they get balanced before they ship out. I don't know how true that is, but I know for sure my Gazzetti had a mark on it to make sure that everything goes back in the way it was balanced, if it got balanced. So I got it all marked out right there. And I'm gonna go ahead and just put this off to the side. We're gonna be using this tomorrow on the Facebook K28-2. I always find it super funny that people always say, oh, influencers that are sponsored by Action Clutch, they always send us a special clutch, which is why we never have problems with them. That's the stupidest shit I've ever heard in my life. But yeah, anyways, I rock Action Clutch on all my cars, no problems whatsoever. Twin disc, originally had the single Ironman clutch. This one's got the stage 3 6-puck. KRX has a stage 3 6-puck. My brother's car has a stage 5 6-puck, and I will continue to order from Action Clutch whenever I need a new clutch. The homie invited me to go to a pre-meet tonight, and it was like 45 minutes too late. I would have definitely taken the blue sedan and stretched legs one last time, but I've already started tearing the car apart. But I continued anyways to pull everything out of the car, and I was kind of like rushing to do what I needed to do, clean up and all that, to try to still make the pre-meet, because it goes till 10 and it's 10:30 right now. Unfortunately, we didn't go, but it is what it is. I pulled the entire swap, the turbo kit, the whole 9 out of the blue car today. We separated the transmission and the twin disc, which we should be cleaning tomorrow to install onto the Facebook K28-2 to hopefully get all of that put back into the silver sedan tomorrow. The pre-meet tonight is for a big meet happening tomorrow, which is at the Santa Cruz Fairgrounds, which is about an hour from me. I can attend that, but now after jam packing my garage again, my OCD is like, I need to get all the stuff that belongs to the silver car back into the car to free up the space back in my garage. So I think I'm just gonna skip the car meet tomorrow, car show I think it is, and just focus on the silver car. So we're making progress, and originally I was going to try to put the whole engine into the silver car today, made up the trans and clutch, but there's a bunch of crackheads outside. I feel kind of weird because they're just like out there doing some weird stuff. So I decided to just close the garage and just kind of keep the blue sedan series to itself and the silver sedan series to its own. So we made a ton of progress nonetheless, and we're pretty much wrapped up for the night. Laundry's going off. It's going buck wild. The last 40-second it's spinning right now. So I hope you guys enjoy a little bit of progress update on the blue EF sedan. It sucks that it's down, but it's gonna be bigger, badder, and faster when it's all up and going again. If you guys enjoyed today's video, be sure to leave a thumbs up, and if you guys want to stick around for more progress on the EF sedan, the silver one, it's confusing because there's 3 of them, but the silver sedan, if you guys want to see some more progress update, be sure to hit the subscribe button. But with that being said, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.